You're all in on social media. And to grow, everyone keeps telling you, you need to analyze your metrics. But every time you try, this is what you see. Reach, retention, impressions, interactions, engagement. So you sit there thinking, right, this sounds important, but I don't really know what it means or what to do with it. Am I right? But don't worry, because at the end of this video, you'll know exactly what each metric means and what they are really saying about your content and your strategy. Let's get into it. When we talk about social media analytics, we're not only talking about just checking numbers for the sake of it, because analytics exist to answer one big question. Is what I'm posting actually working? If the answer is yes, how can you repeat that? And if the answer is no, what should you change first? To figure that out, you need to know something super important. Not all metrics measure the same thing. Actually, there are two main types of metrics: account metrics and content metrics. But before we dive into these two types of metrics, here's a quick heads up. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna check all of our metrics using Metricool because it's faster and easier that way. But just so you know, you can find all of these metrics in each platform as well. Okay, so let's go back to the metrics and let's break it down. First, we have the account metrics. These tell you how your profile is doing overall, not just one specific post, but your whole account, your follower count, your growth, your profile visits, and your reach. And these specific metrics help you answer questions like, is your community growing? Are more people checking out your profile? Did that new format that you tried this month actually worked, or did it flop? Think of account metrics like a card dashboard. They won't tell you exactly what's broken, but they will show you something's off. And to figure out what's actually going on, you have to check your content metrics, because this is where the real action is. First, we have visibility. Here, you'll see metrics like reach and impressions. And yes, these are often so mixed up, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clear the path for you, so take note. Impressions tell you how many times your content was shown. And reach tells you how many unique people have seen your content. And they're not the same, because one person can watch your video 50 times. That will be 50 impressions. But that will only mean that one user reached that content. You know what I'm saying? Then we have interactions. Likes, comments, saves, shares. Here, you get to see if your content actually connects. But different content triggers different actions. And that matters, because before jumping to any conclusion, you need to understand the why. For example, if you do content that teaches something, or let's say that it saves sometimes, you can expect to get more saves from that content. Because people are thinking, okay, this is useful, I'm saving it for later. And then let's say that you have content that feels relatable or very personal to someone. Well, you can expect more shares, because that content is not just connecting to them, but they want other people to feel it as well. Likes are usually the fastest reaction. They show appreciation, but they don't always show depth. And then we have comments, which give you insights to real thoughts. So instead of obsessing over one single number, ask yourself this: what did I want to spark with this post? And what interaction am I actually seeing? And then with all of these metrics comes a big one that is mentioned a lot, but a lot of people tend to not get, and I really get that, and that is the engagement metric. Engagement tells you how many people who see your content actually interact with it. And for that, we actually have a classic Instagram formula. To calculate it, we add up likes, comments, and saves divided by reach, and then you multiply it either by 100 or 1000. And then you will be thinking, okay, but why do I need to know my engagement? And well, that can be an easy answer, because it is what divides your post by either being lucky or being successful at strategy. Because yes, 100 likes might look great, but is it 100 likes out of 500 people that follow you, or is it 100 likes out of 50,000 people that follow you. You know what I'm saying? So these metrics actually help you spot the ideas that really work, even if a post didn't go viral. Then we have retention, and this one's huge, especially for video, because it tells you how long people stick around. Because if most viewers leave in the first few seconds, something might be off. Maybe the pacing, maybe the hook, the message. And yes, this really matters, because if people leave early, that will tell your algorithm that your video is not good enough and it won't show it. So you have to make a habit of checking these after posting every video, and I assure you that you will find your perfect technique. And for the last metric, we have clicks. Clicks shows if your content creates enough curiosity for someone to take the next step, like visiting your site or downloading a freebie. And if you don't have this yet and you want to get more clicks, I highly suggest you to check your CTAs and see if something needs to change. Because if you say, okay, find this in my link in bio, you're not actually doing anything for your audience. Remember that you have to make it easier for them. Maybe try saying, grab the checklist to apply this step by step at the link in my bio. Or check these links so you can find the full example and how to copy it. And then you will really start seeing the difference from these two types of CTAs. What you need to know is that every metric tells you something different. When you actually understand these metrics, you stop looking at random numbers and start measuring with intention. And that's exactly how you set clear and trackable goals. For example, this week I want to increase my retention by 10%. Or with this post, I am aiming for 30 clicks. That's a real goal right there. And no, going viral doesn't count, because that is actually just playing the lottery at this point. And also, you don't tend to track the same metrics all the time. Set your goal first, and then track the metrics that measure that goal. And once you have that figured out, the next big question is, okay, are my metrics good or are my metrics bad? The answer is you need context. Because an account with 500 followers won't have the same metrics as an account with 500,000 followers. That's why in Metrical's social media study, we grouped each account by follower count. That way, you're not comparing yourself or your account with anyone's account. You're comparing your account to accounts that are similar to yours, because that gives you real benchmarks to follow. And if you want to check those numbers and compare your performance versus accounts similar to yours, you can find the link of our study in the descriptions to download it for free. And if this video helped you understand metrics a little bit better, goal accomplished. From now on, you know exactly where to start. Now tell me, when you open your analytics, what is the first metric that you check? Leave it in the comments because I'll be reading. See you in the next one, Metricooler.